1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good.
Live with Simon Chris Makanga. Today's episode is going to be amazing. I'm coming live from here in Chebando, and my special guest is an academic giant in this country. He has served in different positions of leadership, from a class captain to a commissioner in the Ministry of Education. He has served as a chairman of UNEB, and he worked as an RDC. He has written different books, but most importantly, he's very passionate about physical education. He's physically fit at 75. Mr. Fagil Mandy.
Hello, Chris. Glad to see you, man. Come on.
You look so fit.
Come on. Just go on. Just now I take you down. You just go down, squat, without tearing your trousers.
I hope it doesn't tear.
Because for you are my visitor. You were in trousers. Okay, fine. If you can do 1, down, 2, up, 3.
You're not squatting.
Up, 4, up, 5, up. And then let's go. 1, 2, 3. Wrinkle the waist. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then me, I'm going to do it here.
Okay.
But you will do it here.
Okay.
I do my press up here.
How many are we going?
Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. You just follow me.
I'll go down.
We'll count. Yes, go down on the proper press up position.
Okay.
Let's go. 1.
Let me do it here. Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, ready? We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now pause there. I want you to do the cycling just like this. 1, 2, 3, like that.
Okay. I hope my trouser enables me to do
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Then I
so
go
let's.
down?
No. You just do the cycling.
Okay.
Let's do 10 times.
Okay.
Ready? We go.
Can I first flip my trouser?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
So.
Fitting.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Please stand up.
Interesting.
Let's settle down.
Is
Breathe
this what you
in.
do every day?
Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Right.
Wow.
So now we can start the other piece of business.
Good to meet
Thank
you.
you very much.
Mr. Fagil Mandy.
My breath is back.
Wow.
Good.
Is this what you do every day?
I do it every day. And I've been doing physical exercises since I was 8 years.
8 years. Your story has been told a couple of times.
Yes.
And you started building your body when you were 8.
Yes, 8.
At 75, you look like you're 30.
Fine.
You're very
And
fit
that's
and
how
you're
I've managed to do it. Mainly from doing physical exercise.
Wow, I didn't even
and
carry
the
my
way,
hanky.
the
I'm
way I
sweating.
think.
Yeah.
Don't worry. When you do physical exercise, don't worry about the sweat.
Okay.
Because it's very good to sweat. Do you know that there are some people who can spend a month without sweating?
Very many.
Just like there are many people who
Very
can
many
spend 3 weeks without going to the toilet. You
You're
get
kidding me.
And yet we must clear those systems mainly through physical exercise.
Interesting.
Right.
You're looking so fit.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
And you're welcome to Live with Simon Chris Makanga.
Thank you very much.
Out of curiosity,
Yes.
you have so many certificates, so many qualifications,
Yes.
but you've always been addressed as Mr. Fagil Mandy.
Yes.
I have not had anyone call you doctor, professor, despite the fact that you look like one. What happened?
What happened is that, one, when I was growing up and up to now, I've never believed in academic titles. things like Dr. Fagil Mandy, Professor. No, I've never believed in those.
So what were you
have
looking
only
for?
believed in that name, that title coming through actions. For example, now,
Okay.
I know I'm an education consultant.
Okay.
Are you getting me? And my name is known because of what I have done. So I'm a believer in any meaning should be seen through being applied. Action.
So what took you to study all those certificates
I-
in the
I-
UK,
exactly.
Australia, where Makere,
Yes.
Chambogo?
I went
They
to
don't
study.
make you feel proud.
No, no, I am very, very proud. But I'm not very proud of the certificate. I am very proud of what I learnt there. Do you see the difference? A lot of people today go to university simply because they want to get a certificate. All right? I don't believe in doing that. You must go to university, you must go to study a course so that you can count the skills which you have and how you can employ those skills. That's what it is. So even when I went to Australia, I knew that was my first training program in terms of understanding school administration and management. I know which skills I learned there and what I learned and how it opened me up to thinking more and more to think about applicable education. You get me? So I am not a follower of certificates. I am a follower of the sort of mindsets I gain, the knowledge I gain, the emotions which I gain, which are building, and what I gain in my body in terms of skills.
Why did you retire so fast?
I retired very fast. Well, for me, you are saying very fast because I retired at the age of 63? 53.
53.
63.
Now you're 75.
I am 75. So I've been in retirement more than 15 years now. I retired earlier because again, when I was still a student, before reaching senior 4, I believed that I should never overstay in a job without preparing for myself for the retirement.
So now you're fully retired here.
So I retired so that I can do other things.
What's keeping you busy now?
What is keeping me now? I'm running several things, several programs, several businesses. I am managing and running my education consultancy, Fagil Mandy Education Consultancy. I am running 2 hotels, which I constructed myself. One in Chegegwa, another one in Kasambia, in Mubende.
What do you mean you constructed yourself?
I built. I didn't hire. I built my hotels. I bought the piece of land. I built the hotels. I designed them, and I started running them. That's one of the reasons why I retired earlier, so that I can begin doing my own things and supervising them. And also I practice how to manage my time. I practice how to make my money from what I'm doing rather than getting the money from the salary. You
That
get
is
me?
a big statement you have just made,
Absolutely.
Mr. Fagil Mandy.
Yes, yes.
Meaning when you were serving then as
Yeah.
a commissioner, Minister of Education,
Yeah.
as a chairman, you named RDC, you also presidential advisor on education
Yes.
and cooperatives.
Yes.
You were not making money,
I was making a salary,
a salary.
but I was not making my own money.
What is the difference?
The difference is when you are earning a salary, you actually do not know how the salary is made. It is only paid to you by the government or the department or the bank which is paying you. But when you've got to learn, and that's what I must get everybody there to understand. It's one thing depending on somebody's salary paying you. It's another thing you learning what you can do in order to generate your own money. So I generate money now. I generate my own money. I am a maker of money. I am a manager of money.
So now would you call yourself a rich man in terms of assets?
I'm not really rich per se, but I am living a sufficient life. I have whatever I need in my life. Are you getting me? And really maybe that's what you mean by being rich. I have everything I need, okay? I know I have where to sleep. I know which activities to engage myself in, co-curricular activities. I know what to engage, how much to spend on my children, because I know the number of children I have. I know I have I have means of transport. Are you getting me? I know I can travel anywhere in Uganda and outside the country anytime I choose. not extravagantly, but I know. So I can manage to take care of my living activities.
Wow. Mr. Fagil Mandy.
Yes.
That word Mr. gives me a time. You should adopt doctor or professor.
No, you just say
You just look like one.
just say Fagil Mandy.
And you
That's
like
all.
it that way, but it's not okay
Yes,
with us.
it's
Anyway.
okay. You know, I understand why it is not okay, because people move by titles.
And
I
you're
know one
not
person
moved.
who acted as a prime minister in Uganda, but even when he retired, he continued saying, I am the former prime minister of Uganda. Because, you know why?
He kept on
Because
reminding us.
he had not actually built his own title in
Oh.
terms of action.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, very few people call me former commissioner for education. No, former RDC, former chairman of UNEB. No, they call me what I am.
How do
call
they
me
make you feel when
the
they call you
education, the educationist. I don't want to be running in the shadow of what I was. I want to create a new world for myself. I'm a new entity now. I am the same human being, but an educationist and a consultant at that. A businessman.
We're going to talk about that.
Are you getting me?
We're
Yes.
going to talk deeply about your
Yes,
consultancy.
yes.
But I'm very curious to understand, Mr. Fagil Mandy.
Yes.
Your story has been told a couple of times. At least many Ugandans have read your story.
Yes.
Right from when you became a chairman UNEP, you
Yes.
visited so many schools, so many people know your story.
Yes.
But I'm very curious to understand. Let me take you back, as I also tell it.
Yes.
From a class captain.
Yes.
You were either number one, number two, or
we
number
used to
three
call
in class.
class captain class monitors.
Class monitors.
Yes.
You were either number two, or number three.
In the academically in the class. Yes.
There's one incident when you went to Lubidi.
Yes.
SS.
Yes.
The students were coming in late.
Ah.
And then you told the school administration
I discussed actually, and
that-
I presented an idea to
that
my
idea,
headmaster.
that they should prepare porridge in the morning
Yes.
to interest the students to come in early.
Earlier.
What motivated you to do
What
all those
motivated me, one lesson we learn from that, and even me when I'm telling it to people, is that a leader is not a leader to gain a position. A leader is a solver of problems.
things? Interesting.
Are you getting me? As a head boy and my prefects, my cabinet, we noted that actually the students were coming late to the school. And this was affecting how the classes were starting, when the classes were starting in the school. So as good leaders, different movers from the street leaders we hear of now, are you getting me? Is that we sat down and said, how do we overcome? Because we had started allowing some bit of punishments in the school for latecomers and so on and so forth. But we said, look, if we introduced a program where there is porridge served in the morning, most parents, most students will be attracted to come, will be persuaded to come to the school earlier so that they take advantage of the porridge that is being served. Wow. And my headmaster, Mr. Smith then, John Smith then, he was a British headmaster. He listened to me, I presented the point, and he said, well, Fagil Mandy, we shall start the porridge. And we started the porridge, and I'm telling you like a miracle, but we had seen it happening. Students were arriving at the school in time to take the porridge, thereby entering classes just exactly before or just in time.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel proud, definitely. I mean, and that was one of my beginning leadership positions in the school. Are you getting me? It made me believe that I can bring ideas that are acceptable. Number two, that I can be listened to by a whole Muzungu headmaster, a good headmaster. That means that I can give ideas that can be discussed and understood, and they can be implemented. So it made me begin to think that I was not simply a boy in senior 4, because by that time I brought that idea. I was already a senior 4 person. I was beyond a normal student leader. I was a contributor to solving problems, and it began building me to grow more and more, looking for what is the problem and how we solve it. And that's what I've been.
Now let me also dwell back into your story.
Yes.
I'm telling your story because I know it. And
Yes.
the viewers will also get to learn it from you, those that have not seen this story.
Yes, yes.
In primary, you've told this many times, that the students were calling you Muchotala.
Yes.
Mwana wa malaya.
Yes.
And that feeling motivated you to do bigger things. You even went ahead and started building your body. Man, why were you doing all the things?
Why I was doing it, I think what the most important point here, which you have raised, is that everybody must have a moment when you actually, one, realize who you are.
Interesting.
Who are you? You get me? So, that teasing by my fellow schoolmate, schoolmates, helped me to understand myself. One, they were calling me half-caste as though it was a crime. Half-caste was because my father was of Indian background, and my mother was a Ugandan. Ugandan African, okay? So they were teasing me because of my color. They were teasing me because of my hair, because my hair was curly.
Did you ever get to see your dad?
Yeah? No. I learned about my dad, but I'm telling you, I've never missed my dad. And that's one of the things that has happened in my life, that I learned very early how to stand on my own. I learned how to stand on my own, and a lot of people never learn how to stand on their own, particularly children. Are you getting me? I learned how to stand on my own. I learned to look for manhood myself by watching certain characters, admiring them, film stars, and so on and so forth. So I didn't miss my father. All I knew was that he was working as a postmaster. Number two, that he was a hunter, hunting animals, okay? And
where?
In Fort Portal. Okay, because one of the pictures, the only picture which I saw of my father was when he was carrying a gun and he had his foot on the leg of an elephant.
Did he know that you existed?
I don't know whether he knew, because I've never discussed with him. But he must have known that I was existing, because my mother had told him that she was pregnant, upon which he said, no, me, I'm not interested in the child. So whether he knew I was born or not has never bothered me.
I wish he knew that you're going to become all this.
I don't know. He wouldn't know. Yeah, of course, he would have been shocked. I don't know whether he had other children who became even like me or even a quarter of that, but chances are, whoever he had, I think he never had the opportunity to be what I am, because for me, that gave me an opportunity to find myself. The students who were teasing me made me, for the first time in my life, change my mind and focus what I wanted. I learned that the only way of paying back these students who were teasing me and calling me useless, a child of a prostitute, my mother, how can you call my mother a prostitute, who produced me and looked after me and did not abort me, okay? So I decided that I must now begin beating these boys, beating not physically, but defeating them in anything. I started by beating them in the races which I used to run. 200 meters and 400.
You'd run against them, and then you look back
and then look back and wave to them, and then I speed off, and I gained my speed.
You must have been so charismatic.
From that time, I'm telling you, that's when I started running, taking part in athletics. And in athletics, up to college time, okay, even university, I was a short relay runner, a 400-meter runner, 800-meter runner, which I started because the fire was set off in me to beat and be ahead. Number two, I said I must beat them in whatever I do in class.
Wow.
And I was beating them. Already I was beating them because my English was very good, too good for the level of P2. Are you getting me? So I started beating them not only in whatever I was doing, I decided that whatever I am doing, I must do it to be at the top.
Interesting.
To do it best. Are you getting me? So by the end of my P3 class, my headmaster made me jump from P3 to P5.
Wow.
I never attended P4 myself because of the mindset change. I changed into a beater, and I decided to be a beater up to now.
Did your mother contribute in any way to you thinking like that?
My mother contributed, yes, she did. Because I remember, I think I was about 10 years or 8, again about 8 years, 10, okay? When she called me beside her bed and said, Mandy, toina muganda wo, toina mwanyoko, toina tata wo. Ebyo byonna ekitabo kyo ye muganda wo, ye tata wo, ye mwanyoko. My son, Mandy, you don't have a brother, you don't have a sister, which was true. I never got a brother and sister from my father, although I had my brothers and sisters from my mother. Are you getting me? But she said my books were very, very important. And I'm telling you, that thing remained here. I knew I had to read the books and understand them. So I knew them, they were powerful. And then the other way she contributed. By the time I was growing up, around that same age, she was working as a house help or a house girl for some British officials who used to come to Uganda to work for the government of Uganda at Kitante.
And you are the one interpreting for your mother.
Yes, she used to take me along with her to interpret for her because she couldn't speak English. My mother had only gone to primary 1. Are you getting me?
Wow.
She had got me when she was on 14 years. Are you getting me? So she introduced me, and I'm sure she knew it. Are you getting me? She deliberately took me, yes, to interpret for her. She deliberately used to take me along with her. Even every weekend I was not at school, deliberately. And it worked miracles for me.
Wow.
Because I am a beater in P3. I admired that. Then I got these characters who were inspirational. Some of them, those employers of my mother were. One of them was a doctor. I remember 2 doctors. Another one was an accountant working in the Ministry of Education. You can imagine a P2, P3 child looking at an accountant.
And being inspired.
And a Muzungu. Are you getting me? Then another man used to work with the railways and harbors. And he had a small boat, a small ship, are you getting me, on Lake Victoria. One day when I was in senior 3, he carried me along with me, sat me in his boat, steamboat, are you getting me? I mean engine-driven boat, and gave me the steering, and I steered it for about 100 meters.
How did you feel like?
Great! You can imagine that thing. How can a child from the village of Chebando go and so-called drive a boat?
On
for
water.
100 meters on water by a Muzungu.
Man.
Okay, are you getting me? So you get me. The point I'm making here is when I decided to be at the top, I also had experiences that actually
Motivated
made me actualize the top. Are you getting me? So I have never had this mindset of I am a poor boy, people are teasing me. No, I've never kwekubagizanga. I've never self-pitied myself.
Mr. Fagil Mandy, your story is quite interesting and very long.
Yes.
Now let's get away from there. Let's go to Chambogo University.
Yes. College, by that time.
Chambogo College, yes.
Yeah.
You're one of the first 7 students that did PE, physical education.
Yes.
Which you're now very passionate about.
Yeah, passionate about, and I've been trying to campaign for it to ensure that everybody learns and believes that the best medicine, the best happiness in life comes from physical exercise.
We are going to come
which
to
you don't have to pay for.
We are going to come to it and how it can be used to shape the Ugandan child today. Now, I'm curious to understand who spotted you. Because you must have been discussed before you were appointed as a chairman UNEB.
Yes.
Was it chairman UNEB, then assistant commissioner?
Which one I was commissioner for inspectorate. I was the leader, the inspector in charge of standards in all Ugandan schools.
Yeah,
was
that the first appointment?
That was the first deputy commissioner for administration was the first appointment at the ministry police level, and then I was commissioner for inspectorate.
Now,
I was first chairman of the committee which was implementing the UPE and universal secondary education.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now, my question, my question out of curiosity.
Yes.
Having come up as a charismatic person,
yes,
top on every activity, who spotted you? You must have been discussed. There is a gentleman. He can do all these things. Who spotted you, and how did that appointment come?
I have written about this idea in one of my books, that every young person should build himself up, whether girl or boy, okay, in such a way that you aim at excellency.
Excellency.
Being at the top, excellency. Number 2, because of your excellency, the way you do your things in a unique, excellent way, you automatically become noticeable without saying who you are. You will be noticed, and I keep asking you as a young man, you even as a man or a woman, are you noticeable? Not by walking around with swagger around, no, but are you noticeable because of the excellence? See you? The people see you, and the people should see you, not only physically, even when they see you physically. Are you noticeable? Do you have something unique?
Noticeable in terms of speech?
In terms of speech, In terms of body
Dress code?
appearance, dress code, are you noticeable in terms of the way you carry your face? Are you noticeable in the way you use your body language? Are you noticeable by the way you listen and pay attention? Are you noticeable by the way you say you show interest in life? And I'm not talking about dancing and dancing and dancing all along. That's only one activity. Are you noticeable from what you are doing? Are you a person who causes impact? And I keep saying in one of my books, which was talking about parenting at home, okay, that any child growing up should have this feeling, are you missable when you are not at home? Will your mother and father miss you? Will your brothers
like,
say,
let him stay
yeah,
there.
they will only miss you because you offer certain service that is unique. Omwana wange singa abaddewo, omuwala wange singa abaddewo. Noticeable. Even in life, ladies and gentlemen, you don't aim at going through life just like that, you know.
So now, Mr. Fagil
One
Mandy.
writer, when I was still studying English language and we were doing poetry, I forget the author, but the fellow said he was writing poetry. He said, if we are going to die, let's not die like hogs. Let's not die like pigs. Are you getting me?
That
die
is one of my
gentleman.
driving factors.
Are you
Let
getting
me share that with you,
yeah.
Mr. Fagil Mandy. What motivates me to do better? In one of the factors, I don't want to be buried like a dog.
What motivates you?
I don't want to be buried like a dog.
Yes.
I want the world to notice my death.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay?
So now, Mr. Fagil Mandy, you were appointed to serve into government.
Yes.
What was one of your the quickest assignment you had and your first executions?
First time I was appointed in government, of course, I started working in government, my first job, because when I finished Chambogo with my English language and physical education, are you getting me, all right? I was the first teacher to be allowed to go and teach in a teacher training college. Because I had special subjects and I had scored very well. I was an excellent teacher, worthy going to train other teachers and produce a revolutionary teacher. Are you getting me? So that was one thing, are you getting me, which was very, very clearly. I was noticed and I knew what it was, okay, because of how I had done my course. That was a government job. And I remained doing a government job. Actually, all my early years, I was doing government jobs. I was in St. John's Bosco Teacher Training College in Mbale. I was in Namutamba Teacher Training College in Mitiana. I was a teacher in Shimondi Teacher Training College here in Kampala. Then after that, I was headmaster of Old Kampala Primary School, Aga Khan Primary School, Kitante Primary School.
How were all those appointments coming through?
They were coming through because I was being spotted. I was being spotted. Can you imagine that when I became headmaster, my district education officer drove to the teacher training college at Shimoni and whispered or discussed with my principal, Mr. Late Kakoza, you know, and he said he has come to take me to make me headmaster of Old Kampala Primary School. What? And that's exactly what happens. I was teaching a PE lesson. I was called by my principal. I finished the lesson, and the moment I reached the car, the district education officer, okay, opened the car door and said, Fagil Mandy, come in. He was a funny and charming fellow. He said, Fagil Mandy, I'm going to take you now, and I'm going to make you a headmaster. And actually, he said bye to the principal, and he drove off. No, I mean,
you are not excited?
I was used to this upper. I was not shocked by the good news. Are you getting? Because of my upbringing and growing up, I knew I deserved it one way or another.
Wow.
I was shocked, surprised, happily surprised. And the gentleman, the district education officer, drove and went and called an emergency meeting at the school, introduced me, and eventually when he had finished briefing the staff, he said, Mr. Mandy, take charge. And I remained. He left me behind. He didn't bring me back to the school. I took charge of the school there and then. I became a headmaster of Old Kampala. Are you getting me? So I was being spotted because of excellent performance.
Wow.
Excellent discipline. Are you getting me? All the time. I was unavoidable.
So the other conversation you had with your mother.
Yes.
Was it always ringing in
That
your mind?
one came, and you know what we are depends on what we think we want to be. and how we do our things. And that's the big aim of your life. Okay? That you want to be a success all the time. You want to be good all the time. And once you have done that, for me, I keep saying myself, I want to be as good as possible so that I am like God, although I cannot be equal to God. Are you getting me? And that has led me.
You know, one thing I like about your story, Mr. Fagil Mandy, you always look for problems, and then look for solutions.
Absolutely.
When you were headmaster, which school was it? Chitante?
Chitante Primary School?
Yes.
Yes.
You came up with a prayer.
Yes.
With the intention
of uniting the children. Because you see, a good worker, no matter whether you are in a ministry, whether you are a headmaster or you are a medical worker or what, a good worker and a good citizen should be looking at how to push forward, how to improve life, how to improve the situation, never anything else. I've never been in a job because of the salary. No, I have every time.
Money has not been your driving factor.
No. What has been my driving factor? What has been my driving factor was every job, and this happens to you. Anybody who gives you a job that is serious, there is a problem, or there is what you must do in order to achieve excellence in that job. So you go in there and you begin looking, first of all, how is my job going to be done? For example, I want to increase sales in my bank. I want to improve the amount of products we are making in our industry. I worked in the bank. Are you getting me? And I also worked as a general manager of Springs Hotel. I also working as a personal assistant to the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda. Why? Because I was excellent.
Mr. Fagil Mandy, when you speak about all those positions you have been through, in your closet, do you ever pinch yourself?
Well, I really do not. I got used to those achievements. Just like when I was a class monitor. I mean, and I never went beyond the third position. You just get used to it. It no longer surprises you, and you don't use it to show off. You know, stupidly show off. Are you getting me? Because there are people who want to show off everything they have done. No, I don't show off. I don't have to tell people, look, you see what I've done. No, I just do it, and it has its effect, and people see it. Are you getting me? All right? So even when I am dead, one day they will count all my jobs which I've done, because I've not done them secretly and I've not done them selfishly to aggrandize myself. No, I have aimed at excellence. Every job has got to be done. Every job is overcoming problems. Are you getting me? So once you aim at solving those problems, increasing life extension for people, increasing how broadly we are educating our people, increasing how people can increase the earning activities, earning money from various activities, increasing happiness in life without indiscipline, increasing goodness in life, increasing people who can go to heaven. I will do that.
Mr. Fagil Mandy.
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about in the shortest period of time. Now, you had a chance to sit on a dinner table to discuss matters of education in this country.
Yes.
As a commissioner in the Ministry of Education. You were a product
of the same education system.
And when we're speaking about unemployment in this country, the education system in this country always comes out as a topic of discussion.
Yes.
And you being a product of that particular system, despite your achievement and being a charismatic and self-motivated person, you ended up there. I'm curious to understand, did you ever sit down to discuss about the system and how we can break it to initiate our own system that can be relatable with our own Ugandan children?
First of all, yes, it is true. I've gone through the same education system. But I have not gone through the same educating activities as the rest of the children of Uganda are going through. For me, I've been educated beyond the classroom. I have been educated, let me repeat this, beyond the classroom. Today, the problem we have is that parents and children, all of them, the whole of Uganda thinks that education is achieved only from the classroom. It is not true, and that's a big mistake. And we need another full discussion. Education is full education, which develops the mind, which develops the emotions that achieve or push, which develops the body, body creativity and the working of the body. The total quality person is not made only in the classroom. The total quality person is made out in the community there. What you see outside there, the person is made at home. As I told you, my visits and going with my mother to face these Bazungus and translate for them. That was the biggest lesson I've ever picked. That's how I learned my English very early, and my English was a bitter, you know. So the education for me I went through was more exposed and more varied. One, I watched a lot of movies, and I learned a lot. Okay? I read a lot of books, which built me. Number two, I started visiting and observing what was happening in the community very, very well. I remember when I used to go to Rubidi Secondary School, we would pass through Kisenyi. And I remember one big boy, he took me, are you getting me? And we saw where prostitutes were waiting at the doorways to prostitute, are you getting me? That was a big lesson. I saw prostitutes selling themselves, are you getting me? For me, that was an exposure which nobody had. And it had an impact on me. Are you getting me? I started understanding how people can market themselves, sell their body as though they are, you know, pork packages, you know. That's what. So exposure for me, I went through experiences that actually equipped me. One of the experiences, as I said, of these people who employed my mother, they taught me a lot. The movie stars taught me quite a lot. The books which I read, taught me quite a lot. The travels which I carried out taught me quite a lot. The people who I selected to be associated with taught me quite a lot.
So what were your
So I never went to the single school the way everybody is going to the single school.
So what did you advocate for when you were still commissioner?
When I was still commissioner, I advocated for one, first of all, I am the first commissioner who chaired the committee which came out with the basic requirements and minimum standards indicators of Ministry of Education. We were the first ministry to come out with minimum standards for the Ministry of Education. I chaired that committee, and we produced that committee as a ministry. Are you getting me?
Is it still running?
So it is there, it was printed, but unfortunately it is not being pushed forward. You don't hear anybody, a lot of people talking about basic requirements and minimum standards indicators. It's all ended. What indicators? One, first of all, there are about 13 areas, which we don't have time, but we look at what sort of management we have. What are the best indicators to show that the school is being managed well? We have the basic infrastructure. Are you getting me? We have the basic what must be done in order to achieve high-level teaching and learning. We had basic structures on co-curricular activities. What activities must take place in the school on top of the class, the lessons taking place inside the classroom?
Speaking about infrastructure, Mr. Fagil Mandy, this has been a question that has been running in my mind for so many years, and out of curiosity. One, when you look at the infrastructures in most of the rural schools, you know how they look. They are dilapidated. But at the end of the year, they sit the same exams. With the students here in Kampala. Why is it fair enough to you who went through the same schools? Now you are into chairman, UNEB, commissioner, Minister of Education. Is it something that was of a concern to you then?
It was, definitely. That's why we put there a minimum standard. What must be in every school, whether urban, town, or rural. Whether in Kotido, or whether in Kisoro, or whether in Fort Poto, whether in Iganga, whether in Masaka. We put there that if those things were implemented in the schools, every school would have nearly the same standard. And that's why we put there the basic requirements and minimum standard indicators. We already see the problem. How do we make the rural child and the urban child acquire the minimum? Are you getting me? So we made that. Are you getting me? And for you remember, I have told you, for me, I didn't go only through the normal typical school. I went through the normal typical school, but remember, even when I went through the normal typical school, I carried out activities which not every child was carrying out. For example, when I was in primary, I used to run 200 meters, 400 meters. Okay? I used to attend church, Catholic church, every Sunday, although by that time I was still following Islam. Are you getting me? When I went to secondary school, I was a volleyballer, I was a runner, I was a boxer, I was the secretary of the debating club, I was the secretary of the Muslim Students Association, I was a swimmer in a pond in Mengo. I was also a weightlifter. By the time I went to senior one, I had already started doing weightlifting, and I continued doing it at Mengo Social Center. You can see, while I was going through the normal school, still my activities, which I carried out, were different from a typical school child. Are you getting? Because
Fagil,
again, I had already
person.
said, and the most important thing is I am unique because I guided myself, okay, by background of my upbringing to sort out who I wanted to be. And I looked for the activities which would sort me out. Even when I tell you that I watched a lot of movies, I wasn't watching movies of love affairs. I wasn't watching movies where people were just dancing, you know, the normal crank of movies. No, I was watching out movies which taught me a lot of adventure, which taught me a lot of spying, for example, the James Bonds. I watched movies which were adventurous, like the Tarzan movies, the pirates, the movies which are deliberately were making me, equipping me with the necessary mindsets, attitudes, and my physical skills. Are you getting me?
So what happened to the minimum standard requirement?
They must, unfortunately, I cannot say, but all I can tell you as an education consultant, because I know what is happening in the education sector.
Now,
simply, you have asked me what it is. It is because people have kept quiet about it. Implementation of what the minister wants to do has gone down tremendously. Are you getting me? Even when we say coaching during the holidays, it will continue going on. Children will continue wearing school PE uniforms without doing actually PE in the schools, but they just buy the PE uniforms. So the implementation is different. Again, you need to have that spirit in you of saying, I want to be there, I want whatever I do to be there in order to be able to implement. How many people do you hear in Uganda putting down their foot that we want to do that? You can only count just a few. And I normally count even Madame Jennifer Musisi one time as a pusher, one of the pushers in the country. The others are simply earning their salary and keeping quiet and growing fatter and dying without actually doing the job. You know? You know?
Mr. Fagil Mandy.
Yeah. You know? So really for me, I think it's that. You get me? We, the minimum standards has, our biggest problem as a country is that we sometimes generate a lot of ideas, but implementing these ideas, you have heard the saying that we have a lot of policies, but implementation is nearly zero.
Even when you are serving.
And that's what makes the difference, or I mean the difference between a performer and a non-performer. A performer produces results. A non-performer just earns the salary and sits back. Even goes up to parliament and sits there, but never causes any impact. Are you getting me? So really this is what it is, that implementers in Uganda, people who can push for what is correct, are becoming fewer and fewer, and this is very dangerous for our country.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Now, I want to speak now to the consultant. Allow me sit on your feet and learn, then later I'm going to share with the world. Out of curiosity, Mr. Fagil Mandy, as an education consultant, you believe there are students who are genius. And there are those who are slow learners. But at the end of the day, I'm curious to understand who designed the system that we are supposed to study 7 years in primary, 4 years, 6 years in secondary, 3 or 4 years at the universities. Yet a genius is studying with the same person who's a slow learner. Yet this person like you didn't study primary 4. Why is the system so designed like that? Do you think there should be amendments?
Again, it is poor performance, poor workers. How much does a local teacher think now in terms of vibrancy, in terms of growing up as a human being? How much does a normal member of parliament, how much does a normal worker, a manufacturer, think about building this country by doing what? Are you getting me? Everybody, I mean, a lot of people are only covering certain areas, particularly those of earning money. Are you getting me? Earning position. Are you getting me? So, I think that the system was created, of course, the system we have was created by our government. The history of it is that the first part of the education system before we got to
independence. The government, talking about the first government.
Yes.
The missionary government.
The missionary government, the colonial government, started the formal education system here. And they started it with its own purposes and designs. Are you getting me? Yeah.
To build employees.
Yeah, exactly. And raw material producers and so on and so forth. And beggars, anyway, that sort of thing. So the system was started by Ugandans themselves. But again, one problem we have had is that we have not been evaluating our programs. Again, we have not been evaluating our programs, and therefore have not been making corrections. So if we could evaluate our programs, then we would see what is wrong, and then set programs which can address what is wrong. For example, if we know that the teacher general is weak now, let's identify exactly what is the problem with the teacher. And therefore, depending on what is the problem, we look at our experiences and say, what is the best intervention? How should we train the teacher to become a new maker of another human being? Are you getting me? Are you getting me? Not simply to say they should get degrees, they should become graduates. That will never solve the problem. If anything, it will complicate the problem even more. Are you getting me? Okay? So, I think it's a matter of looking at these programs. Let's look at what is happening in the school. Unfortunately, today, there are very few people seeing exactly, looking at what is taking place in the education. Where is the education taking place? Who is being educated?
Where is it?
Where is the person being
Mr.
educated?
Fagil Mandy, where is it?
Which one?
The education.
The education is exactly as I told you. Education actually, one, should take place in more places, and it must be in more places than the school system. The education takes place at the home, in the community, out there, plus the formal school. And in the formal school, the experiences which are faced there should be as various as to bring out the skills which are necessary to make a functional and a successful population.
In your comment,
yeah,
that when we're solving the problem of unemployment, like I said, the education system is blamed more.
Yeah.
As a consultant, what should be done?
No, we just have to change the system. We just have to change the system.
How?
Not just change. How? It's a long story. I mean, let's seriously look at the system. Luckily enough, we are now doing a program at this time when there is the Education Review Commission.
You also agree with Professor Avamuno? Because in his book, Independent Uganda, he said there should be an education review committee that should be... Oh, sorry about that. Our producer will sort it out.
Yeah.
There should be a review, an education review committee that should come up, that should include every stakeholders, including the fishermen, the land, everybody. Do you also agree with that? Yes. Education, one, should take place nearly everywhere, where a human being is. Are you getting me? And I've mentioned now to begin with that education should take place at the home. That's the beginning of education, at home. Then the education should take place in the community. Education should take place in the formal school. Are you getting me? Those are the three Amasiga answer to, three hearthstones. Basically, but education should take place everywhere, all the time, with everybody. Because learning is continuous until you are buried. Even at the burial site, people are still learning. Are you getting me? So let me repeat. Education should take place everywhere, places of employment, homes, community. Are you getting me? And it should take place all the time. It should take place with everybody. Are you getting me? Because everybody, including those who have been to schools or whatever it is, needs to continue learning. I want to underline this thing, that education
me and you and the audience and everybody listening in or watching, are you getting me? You continue learning because life continues to change.
And I think that's why the Uganda Management Institute was
built
during the Obote's regime.
Yes, and which they have not maintained now. Are you getting me? So everybody should continue learning.
So now, Mr. Fagil
The
Mandy, let's
review.
speak about this one. I think this Paula Banner was asking us to speak about it. That's why it was.
But that's why it should to be recognized, visible.
recognized.
Yes, you know.
Now you see, it's
again,
even
it has
falling
given
again.
a full stop.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Fagil Mandy Education Consultancy. What do you do here?
For me, as education consultancy, one, first of all, this education consultancy is one way of paying back and continuing my struggle of changing my country, changing the human beings, so that our human beings, our population, our young people become better and better and better. Luckily enough, now Uganda and Africa, we have the fastest growing population.
True.
So I'm set and on that thing. But so what sort of population? The population is useless when we have not enriched its knowledge, its skills, and its longevity. Are you getting me? So that the population becomes more productive, are you getting me? And more successful. You get me? So for me, when I retired from the Ministry of Education, my contribution was to start an education consultancy. Are you getting me? Where I can continue contributing towards improving people.
Meaning you are not yet, you are not fit to retire.
No. Yeah, retiring for me didn't mean that because I've stopped working in the Ministry of Education, I've stopped contributing. No, I have never stopped to work. Are you getting? As you noticed, when I retired, I increased the amount of time I spent on televisions and radios to use it as a channel of education. I have done more and more seminars and workshops. I've done more and more consultancies in my education consultancy. And I've continued deliberately programs. For example, even next year, this year, which is going to begin tomorrow. Are you getting me? I am going to continue with the program which I've done since 2001, where I train young people. Young people of university, young people of secondary school, young people, even the primary 7 leavers. I train them for 18 days.
Why do you train
me them? And my team. Are you getting me? We are going to start training them at Kitante Primary School. And I've been doing that program since 2001 as my own contribution towards building my country's population, towards contributing towards raising my country, and towards improving the human beings created by God. Are you getting me?
You train them into physical education?
I train them in various ways. Of course, the time is not enough. My aim is to ensure that, one, they discover their abilities faster and more. Number 2, they are able to develop their skills. Are you getting me? Number 3, they are able now to understand the world more. Are you getting me? Yeah, in a broad angle. Number 4, they are able now to take advantage of what is available in Uganda, in Africa, in the world, to live a better life. Generally, that's what I do. And one of the major mediums is I train their minds seriously.
So how do they find you?
So that the minds are developed to think more, to acquire more knowledge, and to be able to solve problems. All right. And then I also train them in changing their emotions, their feelings, so that they are filled with positive and change-oriented emotions. Are you getting me? If they didn't have love, and majority of them don't have love, they don't have hope, they don't have faith, they don't have enthusiasm. We train them in 18 days, and we see that they increase their emotions, which are positive. Are you getting me? And then we train the body. Every day of the 18 days in this training, beginning with physical exercise. Because for me, as a human being, as an educationist, I know the best way of changing a human being is one of physical exercise. Are you getting me? So that's why we contribute it. We contribute towards that. And then we pack them, and 18 days we're able to produce a young person who can walk differently, who can look differently, okay? A young person who can talk differently, a young person who can visualize and imagine differently. Are you getting me? In short, we produce a young mind, a young person, a boy or a girl, who can bring about change, one within himself and the people around them.
Wow. So
18 days.
How do they find you?
They find me.
And from what age?
No. Those are the ones we will be taking in January. We are starting on the 2nd of January at Kitante Primary School, as I said, for 18 days. Okay? And we start at 8 o'clock and finish at 5. It's not boarding. So that's where we'll be best for the 18 days at Kitante, near the new museum. I mean, the National Museum. Then finding me, I am on, you can even Google and look for Fagil Mandy. But I have my telephone number, my WhatsApp number. We've been sending out publicity notices. My publicity, my WhatsApp number is 0750 77 33 and 00. You will have the information there. You can reach me, or you can ring me directly, okay, on 0772 MTN 0772 500 353.
And the charges?
The charges will be charging 450,000 shillings for 18 days per person, but that includes also lunch plus a certificate signed by me.
Wow.
Are you getting me?
Doctor,
I
was going to call you. Wait. We are not saying bye-bye for now.
Yes.
Is this something you wish the government should take on?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I started this sort of training, to see whether I can influence government to introduce a specific way of training our people in the schools, outside and everywhere. We need to change the way we are training our people. Ours, for example, in this training program, ours is the student does nearly everything. It is participatory. We expose the students to the places like Kamocha, Kisementi, Wandegea, and all of that. The student is the one actually at the lead. For us, our job is to give them the challenges, organize them so that they begin addressing the challenges, and then we add in just a few points here and there, building on their own knowledge and skills, because they are the ones going to lead the lesson.
Mr. Fagil, what I'm picking from this,
yes,
you're planting a seed that raised you to become the person you are today.
Absolutely.
Planting it in this generation.
You're right, you have detected it.
Oh,
that's it. How do you become, these young people we are going to train, they will understand themselves better.
So what do you make of the new curriculum?
The new curriculum,
I think especially in the village.
The new curriculum, I think generally on one side is good, in that it is aiming at making learning applicable, experience-based, environment-based. It is supposed to be led by the learner through sharing with the friends, through presentations. In short, it is a practical solve the problem approach, and that's the best part of it. But I think we still need to strengthen it, and maybe strengthen the teachers by equipping them with better skills so that they themselves become that, are you getting me? In order to give it to the learners. And we still need to evaluate it more and see where it is peaking and where it is failing, so that we don't lose it in the process. Are you getting me? But otherwise, it's a good curriculum, and I want parents to understand it. Remember, I want to say the new curriculum means wekwatiramu, touch, do. Go out, do, study, experience, find out, investigate, and solve problems.
So this program of yours is preparing them for that curriculum?
Yes, it is preparing them for that curriculum, and also it's the sort of program I would like to see, and I used it a bit when I went to meet, when I was invited by Education Review Commission. I showed them a video of what part of what we do at that training, and I did request. I said, this is a component which I am saying, ladies and gentlemen, that should be actually covered in every aspect of education. I mean, for me, even if you invite me to go and meet all the executives of Uganda, I will begin by a warm-up. I never talk to people whose bodies have not lit. Are you getting me? So physical education and the way we teach can be used, because I have proved over many years now, and my age of 75, that the best way of teaching people and transforming them is by A, B, C, D. Not just a matter of teaching to pass exams, and then after you pass the exams, you forget and tear the notes.
Wow. Mr. Fagil Mandy, I'd like you to look into this camera.
Yes.
And speak some words of wisdom to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a crisis right now. We are at a crisis because one, the machine technology or artificial intelligence is actually shrinking the human being. We don't have time to go through them. So we have the machine which is demolishing, shrinking all the natural skills which we have and putting them into the robot, into the machine. So the human being is gradually becoming a useless body, just remaining there to consume and die at the end of it. So we need to actually address that question. We need to rethink, how do we build new skills in our human beings? How do we build the natural skills? Okay, and I'm talking about the natural skills like laughing properly, like speaking properly, like breathing properly, like writing properly, like listening, like smelling properly. All those skills are being taken away by the machine, ladies and gentlemen, including even the ability to write. So we need to do a program, train, look at your children in the home, say, how are you equipping them with the natural skills which God created with them? Let's begin there. How are you waking up those skills and developing them? Number two, let's begin by changing what is taking place in the schools immediately, not tomorrow, immediately, because we, human being, is endangered today.
Wow.
You can see the general indiscipline, the general misbehaviors, the general dishonesty, the general lies, the general late coming. The human being is reducing to nothing.
Wow.
But let's fight the story. Don't give up. Let's rise up again and build.
Wow. How I wish we had a full hour to speak about AI and how it is outcompeting us.
No, we need to alert people.
I'll come back for that wisdom.
Thank you.
But then, before I let you go,
Yeah.
I don't know why I call you doctor. We should go for that. Mr. Fagil Mandy. My last question, out of curiosity, as an education consultant, what do you make of this? One, there's a rich man who has gone to school and he has gone through different positions of leadership like you, and you're a wealthy man. And there is a man, let me give an example, Salongo Samona. He didn't go to those levels of education, but he's a wealthy man. What do you make of that?
No, I think that follows history. If you look at the most prominent billionaires of the world, they are not typically those people who went through the school system the way it is. No. What saved them is, luckily enough or unluckily, they missed out on the school system as it was. I mean, look at, for example, the gifted hand. All right? These people were able to run away to escape the normal shrinking system of a school system. That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what saved them. They went through other experiences. Are you getting me? Like my jobs, which I did, for example, fetching water in my village, digging pit latrines, digging pit latrines, yes, and mudding houses. Are you getting me? They used those experiences to actually develop their internal, God-given skills. The school system drains out your God-given talents out and shrinks them. Are you getting me? You even forget how to put up a hand to answer a question in the school system. You even forget how to walk properly. Are you getting me? You look at all the senior citizens doing that. How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they look? Are you getting me? It's like they have been shrunk up and they are empty machines. Are you getting me? So really, the whole system is we need to revitalize and plant those skills and get the human being moving. All of us. And the training programs must be raised now and very fast. All right?
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
It's been a great conversation.
Thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to that part B where we shall come back and speak about artificial intelligence. When you speak about education in this country, his name must appear. Maybe next time you also tell us about the books, or you want to tell us the kind of books you have written.
The books, generally I've written actually 8 books right now. All of them are inspirational books. They are not necessarily academic books that I've moved away from. I've deliberately gone into areas which are troubling people in life and written about them, like parenting, like preparing for retirement, like growing up into a successful young person, like maximizing learning in education in schools, like for example, self-security and self-defense. I've written books about those areas which are troubling people. How do I make money? I've written those books, and I can't give you the titles now. You can download them, or you can find them in Uganda Bookshop or Mukono Bookshop, and of course you will take the pictures from them. They can use the other telephone numbers. So I have concentrated on writing books that again can relieve the people of mental health. I mean bad health. They release the people's minds and free them so that they can function more. So they are problem-solving books which I've written.
I'm going to die a happy man.
I am going to die a happy man. Why not? Because every time I count my happiness from everything which I do very well. I'm counting already on this program because I think it has gone reasonably well. And we are touching areas which are not touched by every street recorder. Are you getting me? So already this one I'm counting at up and praying that you'll show it and people will listen to it and learn from it. So I'm already walking with a swagger.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fagil Mandy.
Thank you.
Why do you keep that hair white?
This hair is my hair. By the way, this is always one example of how I've learned from books. When I was at college, I read a book by The Death of a Salesman. Okay? The Death of a Salesman was about one salesman who actually was a very successful salesman in a company, but time came for him to retire. Okay? And when he retired, he completely collapsed because he had not prepared himself at all for retirement. That's why for me I retired earlier. Number two, I watched one character, a very popular actor by that time, James Coburn, and he was acting in a part in a movie, white cloth, and his hair was white. And he said, yeah, I want my hair to be white. Why should I disguise my hair by turning it black? Or why should I wear artificial hair by wearing sisal and forgetting about my hair? Or why should I paint my lips, for example, red because I want them to be beautiful? No, my mouth is beautiful as it is. My hair is beautiful as it is, and it is more realistic because I've never been a liar, both spiritually or even physically. So be what you are. Just maintain the beauty you have in you and remain real. That's why people have moved away from the real world to the artificial world.
This show cannot end. How much pounds do you weigh?
Me, I'm 75 kilos.
Wow.
No, 75.
75.
Yeah, 75. And I've been 75 for the last 15 years, 20 years.
What?
Okay, I've never actually, the biggest weight I've ever been was 79.
What?
Okay, 79, I've never gone into 80s. And partly because of the type of food I eat and the physical exercise.
Wow.
Even now, I keep telling people, supposing I dyed my hair, somebody may think I'm 35.
I know.
Why not? My skin is not very, very wrinkled. My voice has not gone. I have only lost one tooth in my mouth. I still have the full formula. My body is what it is. I am sharp.
Wow. Wow.
Because of the way, the lifestyle I've led.
Wow. What do your children think about you?
My children, I think they learn quite a lot. All right? And they were very proud of me. Okay, they grew up. I took my children, all of them, through particular programs, deliberately.
Are they successful?
So when I'm talking, they are all. None of my children is unemployed. Number two, I've got 6 children, 4 boys and 2 girls. None of them has no job. None of them has ever been dismissed from a job. None of them has ever been dismissed for indiscipline from the job. None of them has not worked for even 1 year. They are all working. And one of them is a medical doctor specializing in surgery. Another one is a lab technician. She's a virus research worker. Another one is working with the United Nations. Another one is working with the government. She's actually right now at our High Commission in Nairobi. Another one is a builder and constructor, and she puts up buildings. And who else? I think they are all those. So now, all of them have a job to do, and a job to do based on practical.
Wow.
None of my children never acted. They all acted. both on the stage and on the television, because I was aiming at developing those skills in them, which now the population has lost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Fagil Mandy, there was a time I met you at the book launch, Giant in Hiding.
Yes.
By Jennifer Mudondo.
Mudondo, yes.
And the book speaks about it's a call for the man to reposition himself as a head of the family. What's your view about marriage?
Actually, first of all, Jennifer's book is one of the books which we shall be using, because when I do the other training program, I introduce my young people to the science of writing, the art of writing and creativity. Are you getting me? One of the books we are going to study, and we have already invited Jennifer Mudondo to come and make the introduction of that book. It is one of the books, because the book is actually talking about that the man is endangered right now. The man has been sacked of anything that is described as we know it as a man. Okay? And we need to think about it. Right? She's also saying that also along with that, you know, even the woman is being sacked now, drier and drier. So it's a very useful book, right? We must look at, this is what we've been talking about. What sort of human being are we producing today? Are we producing a more powerful, a more creative, a more innovative, a more adventurous human being? The answer is no. We are generating a vegetable in the form of a woman and a man.
What has made you a good father?
Because I was conscious about what I wanted, and I was also conscious about what I wanted my children to be. I wanted them to be both artists and scientists.
Wow. I'm closing it here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, friends. That is the end. I'm not asking any other question. Thank you so much. Please go ahead and subscribe, like, and share. Live with Simon Chris Makanga. Until I return for another episode, for now, it's a bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.